and welcome to Jewish Life, the show about people and issues in Judaism and some secrets you missed in Hebrew school. On our show, we have discussed art quite a few times. We've introduced you to some Hasidic artists. Art, an expression of our past. Art that expresses our present the way we like to see it. And of course, art expresses our hopes, our dreams, and our future. Even as the camera is rolling and virtual imagery is able to produce anything you want with today's technology, somehow the artist has not lost his favor upon the people. He takes their hearts, he takes their minds, he takes their hopes, he takes their dreams, puts it on canvas, and you're going to see it all over. Whether it is the king's palace, the royal palace, presidential palaces, or ordinary homes, even your plain folk would like to get at least a duplicate of some painter's work that identifies with his heart and his emotions and his feelings. Therefore, I'm pleased to have with me today as my guest, Mr. Raphael Nouril. He is an artist who was born in Iran, Azerbaijan, and Persia, and he now lives in London and is here in the United States on the occasion of an exhibition of his work. Welcome to New York, and thanks for coming to the show. Let us start with your profession.
Sure.
What type of artist, in broad terms, do you consider yourself?
Well, I consider myself classical painter, artist, and I'm not a modern painter.
Abstract?
No, not abstract, not cubism. I like realism, but not realism like a camera does. A step forward. Like, I like to paint everything, but include feeling and emotion, something which camera lacks.
Who did you paint throughout your career? How long ago did you start your career?
Well, I started my career, I started painting when I was 10 years old, right? My career I started.
Who did you paint then? Who commissioned you?
Very interesting, very interesting. When I was a child in the school, right? Two favorite characters I paint for every single member of my classroom. Tarzan and Moses the prophet.
Uh-huh. So these were your two opposites.
Yeah, and every friend he had two copy. Tarzan, Moses. Tarzan, Moses.
That's where you started. And then?
Then at the age of 13 and a half, I went to a private art academy of Mr. Reza Samimi. He was an eminent portrait painter of King of Iran. I studied there for 4 years. Then when he left to France, I continued to paint in Iran until age of 26. Then I went to France, to École des Beaux-Arts, the renowned art school there. Then from Paris, I went to Israel. Then I married. I came back to Iran I lived 3.5 years. And when I was in Iran, I had gallery, I had studio.
You had your own gallery in your own studio, and you were doing what? You were doing portraits?
I did portraits, portraiture, and exhibited time to time in that gallery, my own gallery. Also, I had classes to teach art. Among my pupil, there was Prime Minister's brother. Prime Minister's brother.
The Prime Minister of Iran?
Ex-Prime Minister's brother of Iran was my pupil.
Mm-hmm.
One day in secret. Well, as a prime minister, he wanted to come and work privately.
Right.
Understandable. He was sitting in one corner of a studio, and I was sitting in the other corner of a studio and painting. Whenever he needed me, he used to call me. I used to go and make a comment over his work. One day, as he was painting, I must tell you something. When you paint, like you drink a little bit of alcoholic drinks, things slips out of your mouth. You don't speak on normal circumstances. As I was painting...
Is that an admission of an artist?
I don't know. As he was painting and I was painting, he broke the silence. He said to me, Raphael, why do you live in this country? I said, what is wrong with this country? Nothing, you're Jewish. I said, Judaism is my religion. My nationality happened to be Persian. He said, yes, having said so, still, you are Jewish. I repeated, Judaism is my religion. My nationality is Persian. He reminded me, I'm a Jew. I reminded him, I'm Persian.
Didn't work.
No. Then he said to me, I got very uncomfortable. I said, do you realize, Mr. Razmara was his name, we Jews have history of 2,500 years since Queen Esther.
In this country.
In this country, even deeper than Islam. After so many years, you are telling me I'm not belong to this land? He said, I'm sorry, I didn't want to hurt you. I want to help you. Sooner or later will be a revolution. Then you minority, especially Jewish people, will be in trouble. Get out of here.
Just like that?
Just like that. I was frightened. I thought maybe it's a secret police or Savak or something. Well, he was trying to catch me. I tried to be a bit smart. I said, no, there is nothing better than this country. I had to say that. Then he said, don't be smart. I'm not Savak. I just like you. You're a good artist. Get out of here.
Wow.
I always wanted to go
so
as an
artist. So you saved your life practically this way.
No, I always wanted to go and live in Europe. For art is a wider place. In London, Paris. But what he said, it was push. When I came home and I said that to my wife, Mr. Razmara said that, she said, we are going. That's it. Okay, in a matter of 2 weeks, I was in London.
Mm-hmm. What did you do as an artist? You had some major, you had the nephew of the prime minister with you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had some connections in high circles.
Sure. I painted the portrait of King of Iran.
Of the Shah,
of the Shah of Iran.
The Shah, right?
Yes. And I also painted a portrait of Prince Reza, his son, when he was child, for Queen Mother of Iran. I painted him.
So you were well connected on that level.
Yeah.
And that in a way saved your life.
I hope so.
Well, okay, so we have this part that your past history of which you ran away, and you had to cut your 2,500 years heritage in that country. Now that you moved to London, who did you go to? Who did you paint since then?
I had numbers of exhibitions in galleries and different constitutions in London. In London, I have painted Dr. Henry Kissinger. I painted the actress Joan Collins from life sitting in her apartment. I acted from London.
Your art was exhibited?
My art was exhibited in a number of galleries.
House of Commons?
Yes, House of Commons. I had an exhibition of about 1 week exhibition I had in House of Commons. Mrs. Lady Boothroyd, Speaker of the House of Commons, was the guest of honor, together with Mr. Peter Brook, the National Heritage for the Secretary of National Heritage.
Now we should introduce to our audience that up till now your story is that you're a Jew, but still not a very active or practicing Jew. No. Now we're going to be talking about a turn that took in your life, but we'll do that after these messages. Raphael, you were Persian,
Yes.
which makes you Sephardi pretty much,
Sure.
in a way.
Yeah.
I am American and Ashkenazi.
I'm sorry, I want to interrupt you.
Sure.
I'm not only Persian. I am from Azerbaijan, Persia, and my national language is Aramaic. We
So
speak.
you're really original.
We
You
brought
go
the-
all the way back to the Talmud.
Oh, yes.
And before that.
From the destruction first temple, right, when the Jews were captive in Babylon, afterward when the king of Persia fought with Babylonian, freed some of them and sent them back to Holy Land to rebuild their second temple.
Right.
And some of them went back to Persia.
Right.
And I am
You are
descendant of.
from
Sure.
those people. Now, I know you live in London.
Yeah.
My wife comes from London too, but I don't know you from London. I don't know you from any of this. I, as a Lubavitcher, I know you because you became, in a way, one of the artists who have made some of the most beautiful paintings that are around the Lubavitcher Rebbe.
Thank
And
you.
I know that this has affected you. It has affected us all. So I want to talk about how did this happen? How does someone who classifies himself formally as a secular Jew, he painted kings, ministers, exhibits in parliaments. How did you come to this whole situation of Lubavitch and what comes along with it?
Well, when you say Lubavitch, in London, we had Lubavitch neighbors. They had, I didn't.
You were like neighbors,
Yes,
or you
yeah,
just
no,
lived next to one
just
another?
next door neighbors. They were different, wearing black on Shabbat, black hat, black coat, and I always said, why they should be different than any other Jew?
Right.
Why? Until some story I'm going to tell you. There is someone which is very dear to me. We had a problem with, and when she was born, she never spoke until age of like 4.5 years old. Because she didn't speak, she was shouting to express herself. As a result of intensive screaming, she developed a massive hernia, needed an operation. Now, being a nervous child with a speech defect, we thought hospital environment may affect her even more and prevent her from ever speaking. In this field, nobody could help. A night before operation, we wanted to go and ask our neighbor what to do. Lubavitch
You
neighbor.
were desperate.
Desperate.
But you
went to
didn't
them.
go to him because he was a Lubavitcher.
No.
You
no.
just...
Yeah. We went to them. We said, you are Lubavitch. You are Orthodox. And you have more children than anybody.
Anyone around, right?
Therefore, more children, more experience. What would you have? What would you have done if you were in our position? They said, we pray to God and we read Tehillim, but there are more righteous people than you and I exist. We ask for a blessing. Anyway, since it was a desperate situation, when you are in desperate situation, you prepare to believe everything. Yes, we asked them to ask blessing for the patients. And next door they phoned, they said, you can go to hospital, you can take the patient to hospital, nothing to worry about. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, Nouril family will always hear good news from the Rebbe.
Meaning, you agreed to their suggestion of prayer,
Yeah.
even though, I mean, you really didn't believe in it, but as a desperation, you agreed to that.
Yeah.
Then they called you back with a message that the Lubavitcher Rebbe said
That is correct.
that you will have only good news.
Yes. So when the patient went to hospital, a day before the operation, her mother, they injected her with a general anesthetic before taking her to operating theater. Her mother pushed Book of Psalms under her pillow. If prayer does any good, let it be under her pillow. And they took. She was hoping to take this person to operating theater, but unfortunately they came and they transferred her from one bed to another. The book remained.
Wasn't with her.
No, it wasn't with her. After an hour, the operation finished. They brought the child back.
To the same bed?
The same bed. And she slept for 4 hours constantly. And after 4 hours, something very, very strange happened, and I witnessed it. Suddenly, this child opened her eyes, and she sat in the bed like a robot. She started searching for the book. Book she never saw. We put it under her pillow. She opened it upside down, and for the first time in her life, she opened her lips, started singing, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, Adon Olam, with this nigun.
Classical Jewish prayer that we start the morning prayers with.
Yeah. Maybe she knew it because she was going to kindergarten. In the same time, she could say, Ringo, Ringo, roses, many other stuff.
She could have said anything, right?
But why? I was just looking. I thought I am imagining things. But there were many people witnessed there. 2 nurses, they said, we thought you said this person doesn't speak. Why she's singing now? Then, cut a long story short, she put back under her pillow. She started running through hospital corridors. She went end of the corridors. It was
right after an operation.
Yeah. She found a room full of toys. From all the toys, she chose a very, very huge bicycle. Started biking after hernia operation with the fresh stitches along the corridors of the hospital, backwards and forwards. Doctor said, look, she will open her stitches. Please control her. But there was like a force in her. I can do whatever I want. Nothing will happen to me. They said if this is the case, she should go home.
They take no responsibility.
No, she should go home. Okay. Her mother took her home.
And everything was fine.
Yeah. And
that affected you.
That affected me. Then after a while, she started saying words, sentences, now.
What was your next step? You went straight to the Lubavitcher Rebbe?
No. What happened was, I thought I must paint the Rebbe. I must paint the Rebbe. Because I knew it was a divine power. I knew it was a divine power. I asked the doctors, how does something like this can be explained? They said there are things in medicine you cannot explain. I knew it was a divine power for sure. I looked at lots of pictures of the Rebbe, looked at lots of videos of the Rebbe, decided to paint the Rebbe. But to paint the Rebbe, do you think it was something easy? No. To paint anybody, for me, no. I am an artist.
I want to hear more stories, so let's try to compact as much as we can.
Okay. I painted monarchy, I painted celebrities and so on, but I never painted a spiritual person. To paint a spiritual person, it was very difficult for me. Why? Because I must understand him in order to paint his character on the canvas. I don't paint just a resemblance of a person. To do so much so I wanted to paint the Rebbe, I turned my life toward orthodoxy. I started laying tefillin.
Because you wanted to paint him?
Yes, keeping Shabbat and everything. Then I painted the Rebbe. One morning I came down, I cut a big piece of canvas. My wife said to me, are you tuned to paint the Rebbe? I said, yes, this morning I am tuned to paint the Rebbe. Of course, I started from lots of photographs, preliminary sketch, because Rebbe was in New York, I was in London, right? When I drew something, many times your hand doesn't go smoothly, okay? You erase it with the eraser, you do it again. You wipe it, you do it again. But in this particular instant, there was like a power conducting my hand to the destination of every single line. In no time, I saw the outline of the Rebbe there.
So you made the first portrait outline?
Yes. A few weeks later, I painted his eyes. Rabbi Sudak of England.
He's the head emissary of Lubavitch, right?
He heard I am painting the Rebbe. He came and knocked on the door with our neighbor, of course. He said, I have heard that you are painting our Rebbe. Where is it? I said, Rabbi Sudak is not finished. No, I must see it, he says. It's not finished. He was very persistent. He came in. He saw painting of the Rebbe and finished, standing on the easel. He looked on his eyes. He said, wow, lots of artists painted the Rebbe, but this is the Rebbe. He must see it. He will get lots of nachat from this painting. I said, Rabbi Sudak, believe it or not, I must take it to New York. I must speak to the Rebbe, then finish it, or else I can't. Then he was comforted. A few months later, we went to New York. I understood it was a Hasid, some days which is a Hasidic calendar, very significant, Yud Bet.
Yud Bet, the 12th of Tammuz, the
12th
day of the
Tammuz.
release of the previous Rebbe from prison.
That's right. Okay. Just a few days before we have arrived, I went to the office. I wanted a private audience with the Rebbe. No chance. The Rebbe is very busy now.
So how do you get to meet the Rebbe?
Okay. You know this Yud Bet Tammuz?
They had the big Fabrengen, right?
Yes, in 770. And I was among the crowd, sitting there. And Rebbe was giving the chaim to everybody. Suddenly I woke up. I said to myself, Raphael, wake up. Just wake up. You see all these Hasidim here? They all are drunk. Yeah, they all are drunk. Nobody will wake up on time tomorrow morning. But Rebbe, I'm sure, will wake up on time and go to his office at 10 o'clock. So tomorrow morning is the best time to approach the Rebbe.
Take advantage.
Yes, took him by surprise.
Right.
So tomorrow morning, and the next morning, I took the painting, me and my wife and our next door neighbor, which was with us. We covered it. I stood at the 770 Eastern Parkway, Lubavitch headquarters. I waited for the Rebbe to come to his office. As I saw his Rabbi Klein, his secretary, he went out. People said, if he went out, it means he went to bring the Rebbe. When his car approached, Rebbe's car approached, Rabbi Klein went and he opened the door for the Rebbe. As the Rebbe was coming out, I left the painting, I uncovered the painting, I went towards the Rebbe. I was going to say to the Rebbe, I am Raphael Nouril, I am an artist, I live in London, I painted your portrait, please give me your comments over my painting.
So did the Rebbe look at the painting?
There was no need to say so. In a split second he stood in front of the painting and he made his first comment about his painting, about his hands, the way they are situated in the painting.
He commented on that.
Yes. I'll tell you exactly.
We're running out of time, so we can't get into too much details.
Yeah.
So you adjusted the painting according...
Yes. The Rebbe said to me, hands like this are prohibited. Hands should be in such a manner like that. I said, do you want me to change your hands, the Rebbe? Yes, change my hands like that. So there is direct involvement of the Rebbe. Then I said, Rebbe, what about the face? You always spoke about hands. He said, very good. It's better than the original. I didn't know from excitement. Okay, I started patting on Rebbe's shoulder, saying to Rebbe, thank you, Rebbe, thank you. So suddenly I realized nobody pats on a leader's shoulder from excitement I did so, not because I'm a rude person. The Rebbe understood I didn't feel comfortable, and he grabbed my hand and shook it warmly, and he wished me Surot Tovot and good news.
Well, this is definitely an incredible introduction into your world with the Rebbe, and Raphael Nouril is going to be exhibiting his works, many of his works. One of the famous ones is the one called Exodus. Finally Home, the Exodus of Jews to the Land of Israel, and many other of his works. And all are welcome to participate and see this exhibition. And if you want to contact us, the number is on the screen. You can call us, ask us, talk to us, question us, etc. And of course, we have our website where you can watch our show at any time. Mr. Nouril, we have just about a minute left. I know that you had follow-up. You did one of your classic pictures is about the Rebbe and his father-in-law. In a nutshell, tell us about it.
But with his father-in-law?
Yes. The picture about the Rebbe and his father-in-law.
Well, when I became closer to Lubavitch, I became close to this wall. I understood Rebbe and his father-in-law, they had special connection. I searched for the picture which I can paint from. Of course, I'm going back to 1927. I found a very poor condition picture which I made a big painting out of, life-size painting.
Lovely picture of the Rebbe with his father-in-law, an engagement picture, I understand that is.
I have showed it to the Rebbe, in fact. I went to his home in 1988.
And what were his comments?
He was very excited. He said you should spread Judaism with your work, with the help of your missus.
And I'm sure that your exhibits do this, along with your other pictures that you have, which we'll talk about at a later date. And to your viewers, we want to wish you the best of luck. We want to wish you bracha v'atzlocha.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. She's my Maya in יחכה לו בכל יום שיבואי שישמח עם כל זה יחכה לו בכל יום שיבואי שיבואי יבואי אני מאמין